Good morning, Coyotes, and welcome to your C122 Sports Formula 1 preview of the Aramco Japanese Grand Prix. It takes place this weekend in Suzuka, Japan. Now, we didn't go over this 2 weeks ago ahead of the Australian Grand Prix, but let's take a look at all 22 drivers for this 2026 season. Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris were both retained by McLaren. That's a Constructors and World Drivers' Championship winning duo. Mercedes held on to Andrea Kimi Antonelli as well as George Russell. Red Bull retained four-time world champion Max Verstappen and promoted Isaac Hadjar from junior team Racing Bulls into the main team. Ferrari held on to Charles Leclerc and seven-time world champion Lewis Hamilton. Williams held on to Alexander Albon, Carlos Sainz. Big season turnaround last season. Racing Bulls held on to Liam Lawson and promoted Arvid Lindblad from Formula 2 into Formula 1. Aston Martin held on to Lance Stroll, Fernando Alonso. Haas, Esteban Ocon, Oliver Behrman. Audi became Audi this season from Sauber last season. Gabriel Bortoleto and Nico Hülkenberg stayed at the team. Alpine held on to Franco Colapinto, Pierre Gasly, and the actual new team Cadillac joining the grid, making it 22 drivers. They brought in 10-time Grand Prix winner Valtteri Bottas and 6-time Grand Prix winner Sergio Perez. Now, let's look at the Australian Grand Prix results. George Russell won the first race of the season. It was his first win, obviously, first race. Kimi Antonelli, his teammate, took second place. He was 2 seconds behind. Charles Leclerc went in third, and Lewis Hamilton equaled his best finishing position from Ferrari. Lando Norris was fifth, world champion, reigning world champion. Max Verstappen, sixth. He started 20th. Isaac Hadjar, not a great start for the new Red Bull driver. Lance Stroll and Fernando Alonso completed more laps than expected, and Lance Stroll was technically classified, even though he did retire with 15 laps to go. Pierre Gasly got points. Arvid Lindblad, first points in his first race. Nico Hülkenberg, he did not finish the race, and Oscar Piastri did not start. But let's look at that. Oscar Piastri crashed out on the warm-up lap of his home Grand Prix, the first race of the season, couldn't take part. Isaac Hadjar, this is what caused that DNF. His engine blew out. This is the first race for Ford, being a new engine in Formula 1, and it didn't go great. Built Ford tough, you can say. P20 to P6 for Max Verstappen. Huge improvement. He did crash out in qualifying, so unfortunately he didn't make it to Q2, Q3, but big turnaround, and you can be proud of that. Now let's look at the sprint results for the Chinese Grand Prix. This happened last week. George Russell won the sprint race. He took 8 points home, as well as Lewis Hamilton making second. He did finish the sprint race last year in P1. Charles Leclerc took P3. Lando Norris P4. Kimi Antonelli had a 10-second penalty. He finished P5. Oscar Piastri P6. Liam Lawson 7. And Oliver Behrman P8. Now, the actual race was won by Andrea Kimi Antonelli. He took his first career win and career pole as well. George Russell was second. Lewis Hamilton took his first podium for Ferrari. And you can see down here, lots of chaos. Max Verstappen did not finish the race, engine troubles. Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll both retired. Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris both didn't start the race. Gabriel Bortoleto and Alexander Albon also did not start. Franco Colapinto took his first points for Alpine. Liam Lawson scored points. Isaac Hadjar scored points. And Oliver Behrman equaled his second best performance for Haas in P5. Grande Kimi finishing P1 for the first time in his career in both qualifying and in the race. Double McLaren DNS. McLaren, right before the race, identified two critical issues on each car. Lando Norris never left the garage for the warm-up lap. However, Oscar Piastri did make it to the grid before being wheeled back, and neither car started the race. Now let's look at the April races. Both Middle Eastern races were canceled by Formula 1. They are set to not take place in April, and whether or not they get rescheduled is up to Formula 1 management. However, we do not have a date for now, so neither Middle East race will take part due to the ongoing conflict in that region. Now let's look for this weekend in Suzuka, Japan. The track is 3.6 miles, 18 turns, 53 laps, and last year, Kimi Antonelli set the race lap record of 1:30.965. You can catch the Aramco Japanese Grand Prix this weekend, Saturday at 10 p.m. on Apple TV and F1 TV. If you have any questions, you can email me right there, and make sure to follow us on Instagram at C122 Journalism.